Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for letting me present to you tonight. um, so today we're going to talk about something I'm sure we're all familiar with, and that is the topic of patience. So I'm sure at some point in your life, somebody has told you that you needed to be patient. Now, whether that is a little kid looking for a snack or an adult who's waiting for a job interview to come back and give a question, or in my case, an adult waiting for a snack, we've all been told at some point that we need to be patient. Now, the thing is, and I would care to bet that when you were being told to be patient, that it was because you were exhibiting some sort of impatient behavior, right? It was in response to some sort of negative thing or was deemed to be inappropriate behavior, and it was given to you as a reprimand or a correction that you need to be patient, which is all well and good, but it doesn't really explain to us what we can do to be patient. And honestly, for me, when we're told what not to do, that's frustrating. So what I wanted to talk about today is what we can do to actually practice patience in our everyday life. So I'm going to give you 3 things that we can do to be more patient. So the first one, patience, is listening to other people. So I don't mean just being in the same room as another human being while they're talking. Now, most of us probably do that. That's probably what our listening consists of. But I mean actively being engaged in listening to another human being and taking an interest in what they're saying. Now, you don't have to do this 24 hours a day. Believe me, that would be exhausting, and I'm pretty sure it's impossible for human beings to do that. But the reality of it is that most of the time when we're with each other, there's some form of distraction, whether we're at work and there's a computer screen that we're in front of and we're figuring out things to do, whether we're at home and we're scrolling through our phones or social media, or honestly, whether the TV's on in the background or the radio's on, or to be perfectly frank, we don't really have an interest in what they're saying. There's a lot of things that can distract us from what another person is saying. So the issue with that is that everybody wants to be validated, everybody wants to feel heard, and everybody wants to be understood. Stephen Covey said that most of us listen with the intent to respond, but not with the intent, listen with the intent to respond, but not with the intent to understand. So how can we fix this? How can we be more engaged with people around us? I would submit that if we could focus on spending 15 minutes every day where we would unplug our phones, turn off the TV, and just actively sit there and listen to another human being talk about their day, talk about the things that stressed them out, that brought them joy, that made them smile, that they would be able to have a feeling that doesn't come very often of somebody who actually cares about them. Imagine what your relationship would be like if you spent another 15 minutes every day just focused completely on that person. Now, listening is an act of selflessness. It's putting aside what your expectations are for that conversation and focusing on what they need. And that makes sense. Patience is mostly geared towards being patient towards other people. That makes sense. But one area that we kind of don't focus on as much is being patient with ourselves. And with all the things that we're told that we need to do, the things that we need to do every day, and the things that we would like to do every day, there's a lot of expectations that we have that, in large part, we might not feel that we're meeting. It is okay. We need to be able to be patient with ourselves, and that kind of leads us into our next topic, and that is that patience is mindfulness. So as we put down the things that are distracting us and we listen to other people, that also opens up some time that we can listen to ourselves. So as we are mindful, let's see here. Mindfulness means to be awake. It means to be able to be aware of what you need and what you need to be focused on for yourself. Now, I want you to close your eyes with me for a second, and I want you to imagine you have a day completely to yourself. There is nothing that you have to do, bless you, and your schedule is completely clear. Your to-do list is checked off. It's your perfect day. In that day, what would you do? How would you spend your time? Okay, now open your eyes. You've got that locked in. If that's the thing that you want to do more than anything else, do it. make the time in your life to do what you need to do for you. Now, a lot of things are there that can distract us. We've talked about that. But as we take the time to do what we need to do for us, the things that we have to do, all these things that are pulling and vying for our attention, suddenly become easier. The project at work doesn't seem so bad anymore if you took the weekend to relax and breathe and take a walk in the sunshine. That big school project that you're preparing for at the end of the semester, it's okay if you put that work down and you play some music and you sing and you dance or you try some aromatherapy. Taking that time out to reset yourself and calm your mind is vital to helping you get done what you actually need to do. So one of the things that me and my girlfriend do is when we're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, we go take a walk. We just walk around the neighborhood. There's a pond nearby we go to, like to visit, and we just talk about our day. We connect with each other. We connect with nature. We feel the sun, hear the birds, and it helps us to kind of ground and center ourselves again. And typically when we're doing this, it's because we have a deadline. Now, I have found that for me, when I take the time to be mindful, I'm able to accomplish what I need to accomplish quicker than if I didn't take that time before. So being mindful really does help us to be able to focus our lives on the things we need to do and still find that peace. Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk about today is letting go. Now, I think we've all done this, and raise your hand if you have. You've been at work all day, you've had kind of a stressful day, you come home, you clock out, and then you spend the rest of your evening thinking about what happened that day that stressed you out. Has anyone done that? I've done that, everybody here. So why do we do that? The reason that we're stressing and continuing to hold on to that stress is because we've brought it home with us. So I would submit that if we could take the time and the consciousness to let go of those things, to leave work at work, if you will, or whatever it might be, that we could find greater peace and happiness in our lives. If you walk into a room and you're thinking that you're going to walk into a room and see the color red, the first thing you do when you walk into the room, you spot a red thing, that's the only thing you're focused on. Everything else in that room kind of fades into the background because you're only focused on one thing. Now, an adage I try to live by is what you focus on grows. Now, if this principle is true for the things that we're stressed, then if we're thinking about things that stress us out, our stress will grow. We're not going to be able to find that place where we can be peaceful, or we can be mindful, and we can find that patience and inner peace that we're looking for. Now, the inverse is true. If we are going to focus on the things that bring us peace, that bring us joy, that make us happy, then those are the things and the aspects of our life that will grow. So by taking time out to let go of the things that we're holding on to that we don't need to, and choosing instead to focus on the things that bring us peace, we're able to find that place of patience that we're looking for in our life. So I would invite you that whatever it is that you're holding on to that you don't need to, you can let that go. That's okay. So to recap, together we can make our move and choose patience. Now, it might seem like all of this can be a little bit of a game where we're trying to let go of this and make the right move here and choose this here. In reality, it's pretty simple. The best thing that we can do to be patient with ourselves and be patient with others is to just focus on keeping it simple. Make time to listen to other people, validate them, try to understand who they are. Make the time for yourself so that you can feel peace, that you can get away from the things that are stressing you out. You can let that go. I know that as we do these things, we'll be able to find patience more so in our everyday lives, and we're not going to hear those little corrections that we need to be more patient anymore. Thank you.